Hey my lovely YouTubers, welcome back to my YouTube channel with me, your girl Morgan Tracy J, coming today with another YouTube video. And today is a video that wasn't technically planned. This wasn't going to be today, but I have to share with you a beautiful story that the Lord gave me and just gave me some revelation on, and I want to share that with you. So if you don't know, I have been in therapy for over a year now. Come to therapy with me. I've been going to therapy for over a year now, and it is such a blessing. I always have light bulb moments, and I also have a notebook geared towards all my therapy notes. I realize if I don't address my issues, I cannot help others address theirs. And today I had my last therapy session with this individual therapist. And the truth is, I could still keep going onward, and we're going to continue to go on. Instead of going every month, we're going to break it down to every 90 days. Just kind of a check-in. Because y'all, I want to tell you what happened in this year of doing therapy. Now, I will say this has still been one of the hardest years of my life. But I don't know where I would have been if I did not have the Lord, but if I also didn't have therapy. Therapy is what, first off, I go and speak to the Lord about all these issues in my life. But when you speak to a therapist, you actually have someone human to speak back to you. And you know, while I was in therapy, I want to tell you something that would happen is I would take this notebook with me to all my therapy sessions, and I would have these light bulb moments in therapy. I mean, things that would unbind me in a moment. Literally, I'd be talking about a situation and she'd be like, I need to just let you know that he is not your stepfather. He will not do you like your oh, broken free. Tears start flowing. I remember there was a time we were in a session and I was telling her, my story is ugly. My story is so shameful. I don't like my story. I don't want to share my story. I was saying, she was like, girl, your story is powerful. And you got to start sharing it. And you know what? This year, I shared so much of my story. A lot of the messages you've seen, I shared it even more openly. I've shared things that I've never talked about this year because therapy gave me the door and the window to really be open with my story. I want to tell you guys, when you start healing people around you, okay? And I didn't know I wanted to get through healing. I wanted to get some freedom in my life because I was having a lot of anxiety when I signed up for this. And I knew I needed some help. And I knew that there are some things we just can't go at alone. So for example, y'all always compliment my skin. Y'all like, Morgan, your skin looks so good. But the truth is, there were years on years on years I never went to get help for my skin. I just kept thinking, oh, let me just keep drinking water. Let me just keep, washing my face. Let me just make sure I wash my makeup off. But really, it was some under the surface issues that needed to be dealt with, right? So I want to tell you, the same thing is with therapy. There are some things in our lives sometimes that we're like, oh, we can keep figuring it out. Oh, I can keep figuring it out. Oh, the Lord's going to help me through this. But there are some things under the surface that somebody else is actually meant to help you through. And so my therapist for a year now, we have had one session a month. And I bring this notebook and we start talking about issues in my life, things I'm struggling with, things that maybe hurt me, things I'm trying to figure out. And as we break these things down, I'm trying to tell you, every session I have a light bulb moment, okay? And I will say, this is not a Christian counselor. This is just a regular counselor. But however, I'm Christian and I have my Christian beliefs. But still, I have light bulb moments. And so I want to tell you, when you heal, your life gets better. You get freer. And I'm not all the way healed. And there's still a lot more healing I have to go on a journey of. But I know from where I started to where I am today, I remember we were just talking this today. I was like, I don't know when's the last time I had anxiety. I can't even tell you. I'm like, Lord, it's been so long. I truly can't tell you when's the last time I had this, like a PTSD trigger, like where I've had these triggers. I don't really know, And it's all because there was stuff that was under the surface that we started unpacking and we started paying attention to. And I want to share with you, I had light bulb moments. Like, I'm going to show you this page. Counseling light bulb moments. Y'all, there's some messages in here. So I'm a big writer, okay? I write things down. And so in my counseling session, I even had to deal with grief in my counseling session. After losing a loved one, I had to deal with that grief of that previous months ago. I will tell you, there's so much power in therapy. And we don't talk about this enough, but I want to say, I can't help you deal with something if I'm not willing to deal with it. I can't help you heal if I'm not willing to go into the inward parts of Morgan and the trenches of Morgan and start dealing with that stuff. And therapy has been such a healing place for me. And so as I said, I got emotional leaving today because when we started to look back in this last year, when I started in December to now, I'm like, wow, I'm finally getting to different things versus the things that were once holding me down and holding me back. I'm finally getting to different levels in that, right? In the beginning, it was like I was unraveling all this childhood stuff. And now I'm unraveling business stuff. Like now I'm like, I feel a little insecure about this. I'm unraveling buying a home. I'm unraveling buying land. Like I'm just like, do you see the level of growth? Oh my gosh. I started this year like confused, anxious, depressed. I started all with confusion, anxious, depressed, overworking, not having a life, to where I have the weekends off most of the time. Now where I'm looking at land and looking at homes and looking at what's next for me. Like there's so much healing in therapy. So if you are somebody who has said, I could never do therapy, therapy isn't for me, I would encourage you to try it for a month. Try it for a month, try one session. But I will tell you, it's what you continue to show up and do and work through in your therapy sessions that's gonna bless your life. Therapy has, like I will say this, after every therapy session, I never leave with a dry eye because something starts to unravel in me. Something is getting unbinded. Something is getting set free inside of me. And I don't even know it. I don't even understand how this new level of truth is unbinding this thing inside of me. And so I will say therapy also gives you perseverance. When you're going through really hard times and really hard struggles, therapy would speak into me about things and it would give me the perseverance to keep pushing. It would give me the drive to keep going, regardless of where I'm at financially, regardless of what's going on in the business, regardless if I'm doing this alone, regardless if I got a team or not. Therapy was a place for me to go and kind of get these things off and get advice on how to keep persevering through the thing of the Lord. Y'all, I will say this. I was so emotional today and I was just telling her like, thank you. And she was like, no, thank you for trusting me to be your therapist. And I was like, no, but thank you because you spoke life into me. And I'm always the encourager. I'm always the person that speaks into others, but you've spoken to me. I'm like, and you allowed me to be ugly with you. You allowed to see the ugly parts of Morgan to where we could kind of start working on the things that need to be worked on. And I'm like, thank you. And I was just so appreciative. And I got emotional telling her how noticing the level of healing that I'm going through, it helps heals others as well. Not just y'all, but even people around me. So I was like, you know, this is beautiful. And so I want to tell you this. 1 year of therapy, if I could go back and think about where I come from and all the things, I'm so glad I did this. I'm so glad I took matters into my own hands and said, you know what, Lord, me and you, we talk all the time, but there might be another form of help I need to get healing in this area of my trauma. Y'all, the Lord is good. Not saying I'm fully healed, but I'm like, the level of mental turmoil, the level of sleepless nights, the level of nightmares and cold sweats, I'm trying to tell you, the Lord is a healer and he brought it through therapy. I thought it was going to be him. I thought he was going to snap his fingers and your girl was going to be healed. But he was like, but there's some things you got to work for. There's some things you got to show up for. The Lord could have snapped his finger and all my healing would have been gone and all my healing would have been done. But he made me go through therapy. He made me start pulling out things and unraveling. Oh, well, why do you feel that way? Maybe it's because I'm a black woman or I'm a Native woman. Because I feel like, no, that's just growing up in your childhood. That's growing up, you know, less than poverty. That's that speaking. So that's the little girl speaking. You need to let the woman speak today. So when the insecurity shows up, you got to let that woman start speaking and saying, hey, no, I've worked for this. I've prayed for this. I've fasted for this. I'm where I'm supposed to be. See, I'm trying to tell you, therapy, y'all, is a blessing. So anyways, I went around the mountain trying to give this word, but I'm like, I was running, first off, I was running late and I was like, I gotta get there. Like, I just knew I needed to get there because this was our last session. And I know I'm gonna have some in the future months, like I'm gonna do a check-in every 90 days. But besides that, I was like, I know this is my last one for a while. And I know I need to be there. And you know what? I made it in the nick of time. And not only that, the Lord still gave me a light bulb. In the midst of it, I still got a light bulb moment in the midst of my last session. I want to tell you, therapy can bless your life, girl. If you've been somebody to have multiple baby fathers, if you've been somebody to grow up in a lot of poverty, a lot of trauma, you've been somebody to struggle financially, mentally, emotionally, depression, look into therapy. There's even some free resources to get you therapy for free. Like, look into therapy. You're actually taking charge of your life and you're stepping into a better version of you. Hopefully this video blessed you. Shout out to my therapist, y'all. She was good. She's in my location, so I can't like recommend her unless you lived here. But she was amazing. And in the 90 days, we have some goals. So I'm gonna check in 90 days to see how we're doing on those goals. And I'm so excited and I'm so grateful that the Lord gave me that zeal to just sign up for counseling, because a part of me didn't want to. A part of me was nervous. A part of me was embarrassed. I was like, I'm a minister down here. Like, people know who I am. And I was like, I don't want them seeing me in counseling. I don't want them to think something's wrong with me. And I just knew that the Lord was like, you gotta go to counseling. And you know what? There was a lot wrong with me. And there still is at times. But there's been so much healing from 1 year of therapy. Like, I'm trying to tell you, healing. The first session was healing to the last session. And if I could tell Morgan a year ago, struggling with anxiety, confused, all this anxiety in my body, mentally struggling, never having a day off, overwhelmed, scared, every emotion you can think of, I would tell her, girl, sign up. Just keep signing up, keep showing up, keep going to counseling, keep going to therapy, keep going. Because you're going to look up and a year is going to go by and so much healing has taken place inside of you. All right. So anyways, ladies, thank y'all for watching this video random day of Vlogmas. I'll see you tomorrow for another day of Vlogmas.